Have you ever thought to yourself, it'd be really nice to be able to power some circuits off solar in your home, but you're not ready to do a full bore installation? Or maybe you want to be able to back up some circuits in your house in case of an emergency, like your refrigerators, maybe a computer or an aquarium or something like that? Well, today in this video, I'm going to show you how I'm using this system by Jackery that they sent me over to review to do just that on 6 circuits in my own home. This here is the main unit. This is the Jackery Explorer 2000 Plus. This thing has expandable capacity up to 24 kilowatt hours. That is a huge expansion. We do have one of the 2000 watt hour packs here on top of it. They connect together with a cable in the back, and you can just keep daisy chaining more and more on top of them as suits your needs. It's a pretty simple operation once you get everything installed. The main unit here can either be charged with solar or can be charged from the grid or a gasoline generator, whatever you choose. Right now we're charging a little bit with solar, and we're also outputting voltage into our transfer switch. So the transfer switch is what's going to tell this unit whether to use line voltage, which is from the grid or from wherever you're getting your existing power supply, or switching it over to the solar generator, which we have a 30 amp cord going into the front of this power pack here. And I can individually select 6 circuits out of my breaker panel with this transfer switch here. I've selected 2 refrigerators, my furnace. I've also put some lighting in the bathrooms and bedrooms upstairs, our garage, my fish tank. Lots of different things. You're going to have to prioritize and choose for yourself. If you decide to go with this transfer switch operation, you can either DIY this or you can get an electrician to install it for you. The installation of this system is pretty straightforward. The gist of this install is after you've located the place where you want to mount the transfer switch, you'll need to use a hammer and a screwdriver to remove a knockout in the bottom. Transfer switch actually came with all of these parts included. This is like a little right angle connector. They had straight connectors, so depending on where you're putting it, you'll have a few different options. You will need to drill a hole through the stud so that you can feed all of the wires and conduit through. Almost all of the wires on the transfer switch are already done for you. You just have to bring them over into the breaker panel, and everything is very clearly labeled, and it had really great instructions. 30 amp plug was not pre-wired because you can actually move that on the outside of the home if you want, but it's only 3 wires that you need to do. It's like a red, a white, and a green. Now on the inside of the panel, you're going to have a neutral and a ground wire to connect on your respective bars. Very easy to do. Wiring in your circuits is as simple as matching A to A, B to B, all the way through E, and you're done. But I'll get into more of that installation in a future video, so be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see exactly how this thing is wired and a little bit more of a detailed step-by-step on this. After everything with the transfer switches installed, you just have to hook your expansion battery packs together with the main Jackery unit using the included power cable, and then plug in a 30 amp plug into the front of this transfer switch, and then you're basically done. I'm pretty sure almost anybody can do this, but again, it's not an expensive installation if you want to pay a contractor to do it for you. In the event of an emergency and you want to actually utilize these circuits, it's really simple to do. On the transfer switch, you simply take the circuit that you want, like let's say for instance the kids' bathroom. I'm going to go ahead and turn that kids' bathroom off. That means they cut off the line power, similar to how you would shut off a circuit breaker here. And we're going to go ahead and turn it on here. And now that circuit is getting sourced power from our battery backup system. And we'll start to see our wattage increase. I'll show you some clips of how we were using this and what kind of things you can power on it, because it goes up to 6 kW. You can boil water. You can basically run almost any appliance in your home with this thing. This is our refrigerator circuit. So we're going to go ahead and turn our refrigerator off. We'll do one at a time. Let's just see what happens. Usually I like to wait like at least 30 seconds before turning a refrigerator back on. And let's go ahead and turn on our AC voltage here. So we should be able to power it, and we're on generator power now. And now we can see our output of the generator, 418 watts. That must be how much our refrigerator is pulling right now and the various circuits we have in the kitchen. All right, we're inside right now, and we've come down to about 304 watts. It's still reading basically 100% power, which is nice. And we can check our refrigerator. This is the refrigerator that we were doing. So that is on. And I am pretty sure that this is also on that power. So let's see when we turn on this here if we start heating up and start using more wattage. Yeah, look at that. Almost immediately we go up to 1600 watts. So this thing takes a ton of power. This electric kettle is going to be a huge draw on our system there. But it's nice to know that we can power something with a really, really large draw, which we should be able to with this Jackery. It's going to do a great job of that. So in an emergency situation, just running that electric kettle, you could run it for 2.5 hours, which it's not a very practical application for these because the electric kettle uses so much. We would probably switch over to a gas at that point, but just to give you an idea of what something like that will draw. There we go, the water just finished boiling, so now it dropped back down. And with just the regular load in the house, you can see we can run that one refrigerator. It's outputting about 300 watts for about 12 hours. And refrigerators also, they don't typically stay on all the time. Once the compressor shuts off, that'll be it. But I think there's some other stuff on this circuit as well. So we're gonna go ahead and turn our other refrigerator on. So we'll turn this to off. And we should also see, I think this has some sort of dial on there. Yeah, it shows how many watts are going through it. Yeah, you can see the watts are just, I don't know, above a couple hundred there. Go ahead and turn our second load on here. There we go. Our output went back up again. I think my water's boiling. So we're still idling with those two circuits at about 319. So something is drawing on those circuits. I'm not sure what if it's the refrigerators running or some other electrical appliance that's causing it. But once the compressor kicks in on these things, it should kick up a little bit in wattage. So you can kind of see how with these 6 circuits, you can sort of load manage things and you can kind of turn on just the essential stuff that you need. If your power outage is expected to be like days long, you may only want to run the refrigerator and then charge this thing during the day or something. Or if you're going to be, you know, in just a short power outage, you could just flip everything on, whatever you want. This unit is also on wheels, so you can roll it around and take it anywhere with you if you want to bring it on a camping trip or if you go RVing or something like that. It's going to make it so easy to move around. And the solar panel comes in a case and it's really, really easy to set up. I think anybody can do it. All right, now I just hooked it up to an extension cord and now we are charging up. So this hopefully is going to charge both the power stations at once. And this is probably a good time to test if we can do pass-through charging where we can still use the power station while it's charging. I'd imagine we can. Looks like we keep going up in wattage. That is crazy amount of wattage going in there. And the answer is yes, you can. I've got it plugged in and we're running just a studio light against it. So that is pretty cool. Man, look at that. 1500 watts going in. Now this light is just so low wattage it hasn't even registered on this thing yet, but I imagine if we put a drill or refrigerator or something on it, put it under load, we should be able to get that to register on the output side as well. You even get a solar angle guide on it, which is going to help you maximize that solar efficiency. Another thing I really love about this power station is the ability to connect it into your smartphone so that you can take control of it. You can see all the wattage going into it. You can see all the wattage going out of it. You can control different outputs. It's very helpful, especially when you're charging with solar, so you can be monitoring things remotely. Like I can turn the DC on and then my DC will come on. I can turn the DC off and the DC light will go off. Same with AC. I can turn the AC off and it'll turn my light on, and I can turn it back on and it'll come on. So that's really handy to be able to do that from the app and actually use it to download firmware updates and things like that along the way as Jackery comes out with them. The other thing that's really nice about this Jackery power station is that you can charge 0 to 80% in 100 minutes. That is a huge, huge charging speed on this. That flattens the competition on the market. Even though it does have fans on the side here, this thing is super quiet. When you start running some higher loads, those fans will ramp up and ramp down based upon demand, which is really nice so you don't have a super loud unit. But if it's in a garage, it doesn't really matter that much. The other thing to really consider when you're selecting a home battery backup system is the type of battery in these. And these have the current best, the LFP batteries. That stands for lithium iron phosphate, and that will give you over 4,000 cycles on this guy before it's going to start to degrade in capacity. So since these each have 2,000 watt hours in them, after you go past 4,000 cycles of draining and recharging, that wattage capacity is going to actually decrease, or the wattage hour capacity is going to decrease. But that's going to happen after like 10 years if you use this thing every day. That is crazy. These are going to last a super long time, and they have Jackery's signature 3+2 warranty on this thing. Gonna get you 5 years of warranty. That's gonna be absolutely unbeatable. I love the ability of pass-through charging where I can charge with solar and be able to use this at the same time. It gives me peace of mind in my house that the circuits in my refrigerator, in my aquarium, and all of the different important things that I have in my house, I can actually back them up through this in case of an emergency, or just run it and I'm saving electricity because I'm using solar and battery backup in order to power my daily household devices. If this is something that you're looking into getting for yourself, I would highly recommend that you check it out. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you can check out the video on the installation of the transfer switch if that's something that you're into, or check out the link down in the description below, and I'll have some different ways that you can purchase these systems for yourself and even a discount code. So until next video, guys, we will see you. Have a good day, have a good weekend, and be prepared.